All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to well, if you're joining us again, welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, just welcome to our live stream. This is part of our virtual open house, and this has been a lot of fun so far. We did 2 live streams, one at 1 o'clock, one at 2 o'clock. So if you joined at 1 o'clock, or if you watched the replay, you could see a tour of our Calgary campus and all about our promotions. If you joined me at 2 o'clock, you got an overview of Academy of Learning and what this whole grant funding thing is about, which I'm going to summarize in 2 seconds right now. We're guaranteeing that you get a grant. And so the government has set aside money to help people train for careers that actually impact the economy. And you might as well take advantage of that to help you train for a better job that pays more. And so what we're doing right now is if you meet with an admissions advisor, we will find you a government grant that you qualify for so that you can fund your education. And if we can't find you one, we'll give you an AOLCC grant. So that's our guarantee. That's part of the guaranteed grant funding event. And all you have to do is schedule a meeting with an admissions advisor. It's that simple. What you're looking at right now is you're looking at me and Karen. I will introduce you in a second, Karen. But how are you doing? Doing good?
Doing great.
So I didn't tell you to unmute yourself. We're going to have an awesome time. But before we get into talking with Karen, you can see our virtual open house page. I just want to point your attention to a couple things. One, if you would like to just speak with an admissions advisor like right away, call your local campus. You can click on this link right here. It says call your local campus. It'll bring up all the locations. Just call the phone number, speak with reception, and they'll connect you with somebody to talk about career goals and government grants available. Or you can pick a time that works for your schedule through our virtual appointment booker. So click that and you'll go there. Here are all the live streams. You're probably watching this one right now. Actually, you are. That's the only place to watch it. And you can click and watch the replays of these ones as well if you missed them. And then we've got some on-demand videos here, interviews, talking about our community service worker program, our healthcare aid program, medical office assistant, legal administrative assistant, and then all about ILS and kind of what it's like to be a student, which is very similar to what we're talking about, but a little bit different today. The interview that is available that you can watch with Naima was talking a little bit more about the technology and our integrated learning system and how you actually learn and what types of programs are available with ILS. But what we're talking about with Karen, and I'll introduce her in just a moment, is what it's actually like to be a student. And I titled this section, what did I title it? Student experience. I think I even, world-class student experience. And there's a reason why I put world-class at the beginning. And we'll learn a little bit more about that as we talk with Karen. But the way that we operate, I'm going to be bold and just say it's different. There are 2 things that kind of meet together in the middle that impact your experience. We'll get into this in a minute. But one is accountability. We actually have to help our students graduate and find jobs in order to maintain our licensing. So we are held accountable as a career college, and we actually care. We've actually hired staff, and many of our staff are Academy of Learning graduates, and we give every tool and resource, including this brand new campus I'm sitting in here in Calgary, as well as we're refreshing all our campuses across Alberta to give our staff the tools that they need to serve our students really better, serve our students well. And when you have caring staff and accountability, you get a world-class experience. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But anyway, if you want to take advantage of our promotions, find a guaranteed grant. The other one being our Refer a Friend $500 promotion. This is where you do it. This is where you learn all about it. So thank you for joining us for our virtual open house. As I mentioned, I'm joined by Karen Ellison. Karen is wonderful. You're going to see that as we chat with her. And I had to double check a couple things because I didn't want to lie about her experience. And Karen's been with us for over 10 years. She's the director of culture and engagement, and the stories that she tells, she probably won't tell all of them today because we've just run out of time. But the people that she's seen, lives that have been impacted through either her directly or through the people that she manages within our different campuses are wonderful to hear. So I'm really, really excited to talk with Karen. Karen, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And you're off mute.
Yes,
I wonder. I keep worrying that I'm muting you by accident because we're using a cool live streaming thing. But I'll just leave that. But Karen, I was very brief with your career summary, 10 years, and I gave your title, Director of Culture and Engagement. Could you just fill in the blanks a little bit? Who are you? What do you do? Where do you come from? Where do you go? Cotton Eye Joe, something like that.
Well, if we're talking about where I originally come from, I do actually originally come from Ontario. However, I did move here quite some years ago, like
Wait,
almost
did I already know
17.
that? I
I
feel like I
don't
should have
think
known
so.
that. Do you know that I'm from Ontario?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Where in Ontario are you from?
Really small town, and it's Halliburton.
I know Halliburton.
Yeah, that would be. I'm Lachlan, but very
Oh,
small.
okay. All right. Fair enough. The irony, there's who else did I interview that is from Ontario? One of our community service
I think
worker
Bobby.
instructors. Bobby.
I
Yes,
think it was
Bobby's from
Bobby.
Ontario as well. And I found
Yeah.
out while I was interviewing here. Anyway, Ontario doesn't matter. We're in Alberta. All right. Sorry.
Exactly.
I won't cut you off again.
No, that's okay. I came here about 17 years ago. So I have been here for quite some time. And I used to work in food service and wanted a change. So I actually started with the academy as a student. I came in, signed up on an open house. So kind of like this,
Oh, cool.
and just not virtual. It was all in person.
Yeah, technology has changed, and I'm very grateful for it, given everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't imagine this 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, no.
Um,
But it works.
yeah,
I have built positive relationships over now, like Zoom and Google, and it
yeah, it's
does work.
incredible, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, came to school. I was in business admin, and then I was actually asked to start here as a facilitator. And I've gone through a whole bunch of different positions to get me to where I am now. As you mentioned, I am the director of culture and engagement. So that's
And what does that mean?
the director of culture and engagement.
Yeah.
I like to have fun, and I want to share that with everybody. We want to have a really good, positive campus culture and get students and staff all engaged together, and just bring that forward so that we all have fun during the experience.
That
That's the
sounds like
really
a
big
really
thing,
good job. So if you ever want to switch, we should just like director of fun. That would be another good title.
right?
Yeah, the director of fun. Speaking of fun, here's the first question for our interview. I did want to try and find a way to arrange for every single student that has ever gone to school at AOL to come on all at once and say one thing about AOL, but that just was too difficult. So let me ask you, when we ask our students, and I know we ask them at multiple times through their journey with us, especially when they finish, why do they pick Academy of Learning over other colleges? Like, what do they say?
That's a really good question. A big one is that they feel like they're a person, not a number, because we do have more intimate sized campuses. So we get to know everybody and make sure that we actually know about their kids and their life, and it's not just books. So that's a big one.
Yeah, and why do you think that actually matters? I mean, maybe it's obvious. Like, I don't want to be treated like a number either, but how does that impact I guess, their studies when they feel cared about?
Yeah,
Again,
when
I
you
know it's
feel
obvious, but
no, but when you feel cared about and you feel like you're kind of at home, it's like a family. I mean, some people have been at home throughout this whole experience now with COVID. But when you actually feel like you're part of a team and part of a group, and you're able to open up about maybe things that are bugging you, not school wise, then it helps to be able to then come back and focus on your studies. We're all human, so we need to have those moments of
yeah.
interaction.
Yeah, so something that's neat, then this will go into our second question. When I first interviewed to work here, I actually interviewed at a Red Deer campus, and I remember walking in and friendly staff and everything. And while I was waiting for my interview to start, there was this binder, and I opened up the binder, and it was like, I don't remember how many pages, but just page upon page of graduate testimonials, just raving about the staff, raving about their program and how it changed their life. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Fast forward to literally today. We're in, as I said, I'm sitting in our Calgary campus. If you're watching, watch the tour, the 1:00 live stream replay. Watch that, and you'll get to see a sneak peek. But we're in a new facility. We're trying to determine what to put on the walls. And I was talking with Cress, one of our student support, and I believe she runs the office here. I was talking to her, and she's like, I got a whole bunch of these testimonials. I'm trying to figure out where to put them in here. And there were all these like little leaves where people who graduates had just written down how AOL had impacted them. And it's just like a huge stack. And it's just like, this is campus after campus. Our people have great experiences and they rave about our culture. So my question to you is, what are you doing that makes this possible? Aside from, like, it's one thing to say, hey, we care, but one, what happens on campus that builds this culture? And two, how is that happening virtually now?
Yeah, that's a very big question. So we do have actually
Work
a
in
lot
progress
going
too.
on.
We're always evolving, right?
Yeah, so we do have a lot going on. We do the Academy Awards monthly, so we appreciate students, and that includes awards, but it also includes guest speakers that come in and talk to our students. We appreciate how hard our students are working, so we recognize that. We do a lot of happy birthdays and things on that. We have done that in person as well as online, so we have continued that throughout COVID. So we get together, you get to see other people's faces, get to know people, and just have conversations that really are open and honest. So those are
Yeah.
really nice. So again, that's in person. We had potlucks and things like that. So we haven't had that for the last while, but
Yeah,
hopefully we
virtual
can get back
potluck
to that.
is difficult and really kind of
We thought
cruel.
about it.
Because I mean, you don't want to be the person who's like, hey, I brought macaroni and cheese to my virtual thing, and you're eating, and then someone's got like steak, and you can just see it, and you can imagine what it smells like, but you can't eat it. So I could see a potluck just not working.
Yeah, we really did think about incorporating it, but we thought the same thing. It might be a little bit difficult. So
Yeah, you know what? We could do recipe shares. Actually, you know what? Okay, we should talk.
really,
There's a way to do a virtual potluck. Everyone brings a dish and shows it off. That'd be kind of cool. You just
or a
can't eat it.
cooking class.
A cooking class. Yeah, I'm sure there's some expert cooks that we have in our student body and even on staff. That'd be neat.
Yeah, I think it would be. We need to tick
We
that
need to
off.
talk more.
Yeah. And we also have the student newsletter that goes out every month as well after Academy Awards. So these are both monthly things. We have things going on to fundraise and get involved.
Mhm.
So we do stuff with JDRF, so Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. And the other one is we work with Canadian Blood Services. So for blood drives, things like that. Always something to get engaged with. There will be more coming out as well. And we always encourage students to bring forward those things that they're passionate about so that we can also help them support that as well. So that's
Yeah,
some
awesome.
of it.
And so I was just actually thinking, and this is not just, again, when we say culture, it's not just about manufacturing something in our student body, because it has to start with the staff that we hire and the way that we operate as a business. And so for everyone watching, we just had an all staff meeting here in Calgary, and just for the sake of saying it, we followed all the protocols and we're extremely diligent in respecting the safety of one another. But oftentimes when you do a training event, you want to have a good guest speaker, and there's lots of people to choose from. And this year, our speaker was a lady by the name of Alice Lamb, and here in Calgary. And I don't have her bio in front of me, but Google Alice Lamb in Calgary, and you'll see her. She's a co-founder of Good Neighbor Community Market, but a bunch of other things. Volley something. I don't know if you remember what it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Karen?
I
Volley
think it
serve?
was actually just Volley. I think that was the site.
Oh, and maybe it's an app or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alice is basically a serial volunteer, which means all she does is give back to the community. And you had mentioned the different fundraisers, and Canadian Blood Services is another thing that we do. But we actually believe as an organization, and this carries through to the types of students that we bring in, we actually believe that we should support our local communities in every way, shape, or form. Our business exists to help people prepare for jobs and support the local communities, but it even goes beyond that, because our students and our staff just love to give back, and it's really one of our core values that, again, has very little to what actually has a lot to do with what we're talking about. That's part of the culture, I think, starts at the types of people that we hire, and the types of students that come in our doors. Those are the types of people that you'd be going to school with, people who care about their careers, people who have similar passions as you, and people who want to make a difference to their family, in their community, in their personal lives. So great stuff there.
We want to change lives, and that goes from education to helping people out in the community all of the time. So it's pretty awesome. I love the fact that I get to work here. So
yeah, it's so cool. I could keep talking forever, but we would run out of time if I stayed on this. So I just ran through, and anyone who missed it, you can go watch the 2 p.m. live stream. But I basically did an overview of Academy of Learning, and one of the slides was on thought patterns for a successful career, and I didn't have time to talk about it. So I'm going to ask you to maybe walk us through what is that, aside from a course that we force people to take, which sounds really bad, but it's really good.
Yeah, so that's kind of what people think it is to begin with, and that's usually when they come in, it's like, oh, right. But it's pretty much it's 3 days, but it's a course to set students up for success. So what it is it's about how your brain works, and it's being able to actually set and achieve goals in business and your education and your lives. So it really does help with setting study goals. I'm going to throw that in there because we're on the student experience one here. So that helps, but it also helps in a variety of different ways. It talks about the importance of having that positive attitude and that positive mindset and growth mindset. So those are all parts of what's included in that course. I don't want to wreck it all, because I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, because I have done that as a thought patterns instructor. But definitely it's a worthwhile course, and students love it. I said that they come in with the to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end, they're raving about it, and they wish that they would have had this sooner. I've heard like, oh, my kids should take this. My other half should take this. It's usually one I kind of laugh at, but
yeah,
because we can't change people, but I always tell them that they could definitely get them to take the course, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's one of the first things I remember, actually, again, when I started working here 3 years ago. I remember them just like talking about like this incredible course. I'm just like, what on earth is this? And I haven't actually taken it. I think I'm supposed to. Am I not?
You are supposed to. All staff are supposed to take that course.
I didn't take it.
It's part of the culture.
Well, we found a gap, and here at Academy of Learning, we fill those gaps. Oh, there's a good slogan.
Jamie's getting
we fill
signed
those
up.
Gaps. I'm getting signed up for thought patterns for a successful
Next
career.
class is next week.
Really?
It is.
Nice. All right. I will get registered. All right. So let's keep going on the student experience thing. Thought patterns for a successful career is one of the first things that a new student can expect. And that's taught, again, everything's taught right now virtually, or you can come on campus following protocol and learn in person. But let's say that I'm a student, and we're actually at 4:00. Our next live stream is how do I become a student? How do I apply? And Q&A for admissions. But let's say I've enrolled, I've made the decision, everything's in order, I'm going to school. What can I expect? Like, what happens next? What is my experience going to be like?
Well, we stay in contact with you. So from the time that you actually enroll to the time that you start with us, whether it be virtual or on campus, we do stay in contact with you so that you keep that energy level up. We give you more information as it comes. We don't want to overwhelm our students with giving it to them all at once. So there's little tidbits of information here and there all the way up to the start. And then we do have the orientation process. So a student will come in, again, either virtually or on campus with this hybrid model. And we all get on a call, so you get to meet new students, you get to meet your fellow classmates and talk about things. We have all of the processes, all that sort of stuff. And then you also have the campus tours and get to know the staff. And then you get to learn that integrated learning system. Like we show all of that sort of stuff as well. So
nice. And same experience if I'm learning on campus or learning virtual?
yeah, it's it'll just be if you're on campus, we can have someone sit with you directly, and virtual, it would all be on a call.
Okay, so this rule, I forget if the title has changed, so correct me, but there's this role that we have called Student Support Services. Is that still the same title as was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, student
Okay.
student support services.
Why does that role exist? That might be another good question of what to expect if you're a new student. Why do we even have that role?
So we have that rule for a few reasons. So one, they're looking out for your progress and attendance. We want to make sure that you are, and attendance can be online, but we want to make
Mhm.
sure that you're staying on track. And if you need that extra support to get on track, that we are there. But again, on top of academics, it's also about the person. So if you need extra study support, if you just need to talk about something, if you need resources of any kind, they have like this big, it's pretty much this huge binder. It's like this big, full of resources that they can give you at the campus. So it's very important that students get to know their student support services when they come in. So they're part of the orientation process. So everyone gets to know a student sports. They can't get away from it, but
Oh, and it's so good. Like I'm gonna be bold as a marketing guy, which I didn't even introduce myself, did I, at the beginning? My name's Jamie. I work in the marketing department. Um, here's a real quick what you can expect. You can expect to choose a program that aligns with your passion. You can expect it to be hard. We have accelerated programs, so you can get through a college degree. You're like, this is an actual or a diploma program, a diploma or certificate program. You can get through it in 12 months or less. You can expect, because it's accelerated, it's going to be a challenge. You can expect support all along the way, whether it's from an instructor, whether it's from the student support services, whether it's from our facilitators or learning coaches, or anybody else who's around. You can expect to graduate. Over 80% of our students graduate, even in a COVID year.
yes.
Which is not only above our requirements as a career college, according to Alberta Advanced Education, but it is above average. If you're exploring another college, ask them about their graduation rates and their job placement rates. Ours are stellar, and you can expect to get a job. Our job placement rate's something like 85%. I had it written down. I do have it written down. This is on average across all our programs, across all our campuses, 85% average job placement rate. So,
Well, and that's the other thing that student sports does, is helps with
right.
the job search and resume writing as well. So we go through that together as well, trying to help students, and we make sure that they're supported in that.
Yeah. So
What shows?
essentially, you can expect everything you need to graduate and to find a job. And as Karen's just been walking through all the different ways that we engage our students, the way we prepare our students, the way we support our students, the way we build our culture, that's why we're able to confidently say you will graduate and you will find a better job that pays more. So that's really,
Yeah.
really cool stuff. Okay, so let's say then I'm sold. I'm watching this right now and I'm like, I want a better job. I want more money. Some of those programs that Jamie talked about in the previous live stream, 30 plus programs, one of them looks really interesting to me. What advice would you have for me if I'm interested and I'm not sure, or I'm interested and maybe I've had a couple conversations about it? Like what would be advice that you'd give for a prospective student considering Academy of Learning?
I would say don't wait. Come in and talk with someone right away, or talk with someone virtually, and get all of the information you need to make that informed decision, because now's the time. it's a great time to come to school. You have a lot of flexibility. It's a good time to start.
That's a really good point, and something I don't think we've brought up in any of the other videos. Now is maybe one of the best times to be considering going to college. If anyone's watching and you can predict the future, there's a lot of people that would give you a lot of money, but most of us can't predict the future. It's a very uncertain time. However, there are certain things that we know, and part of that is we know what the jobs of the future are. We know that there's needs in healthcare. We know that there's needs in community services. We know, and these are obvious needs. Anyone watching this can be like, yes, I know that. Yes, that makes sense. There are needs in IT, software, web development, PC support. There are needs in so many different industries that are just obvious. And while there's so much up and down, there are other people right now that are choosing to go to college to prepare for those jobs a year from today. And now is a really good time so that you get those jobs when they're available. Literally 12 months, you can start any week, right? Any week you can start.
Any week.
It's not like, shoot, it's the end of September, I missed enrollment. No, you can start in October and you can be graduating next October and entering the workforce in a career that you actually love, that gives you job stability, financial security, and fulfillment. And that's a big deal. So great advice. Don't wait. Do it now.
Don't wait. Do it now.
The other thing I'll add, and I've said this in a couple other videos, I think, find out. The last thing that you want to do is make a decision without the information. I think that's what you were mentioning. If you close off, if you've been watching this and you're like, no, you know what, I just don't think it's for me, and you didn't actually find out, you're going to regret it. However, if you talk to an admissions advisor, you schedule your appointment, you ask all your questions, you explore it, then you'll know that you're making an informed decision, and whatever you decide, you can have no regrets. So find out, don't wait. It's cool to be a student. That's what all the students say. Don't take my word for it. Ask any of our students, come down for a tour of the facility, talk to anybody that you need to talk to. We're really proud of our graduates, proud of our students, proud of our culture, and excited to share that with you. So that's all the time we have. 27 minutes. That's pretty good, Karen?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome. Well, stick around and join us for 4 o'clock. We'll be talking all about admissions, how to apply, and answering literally any question you can think of. I've got, 15 questions that we'll be answering, and maybe that's too many, about 10. But you can join us live or even after with any questions. If you join us live, there's live Q&A. And also, if you want to talk to us directly, close this video off, and in the bottom right-hand corner or the bottom bar, if you're on mobile, you can chat with us directly on Facebook. And sometimes you'll be chatting with Karen, but you'll never know. All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
All right. Bye.